I'm Gala Grigoreva, the Chief Marketing Officer at Adsterra, a global advertising and CPA network. And I would call myself a 4M or probably even 5M person. So I'm a mom of two girls, 9-year-old and 6 months. And I'm still working, so I'm not on maternity leave. And of course, I'm a user for my husband. And I've been a marketer for 13 years, for more than 13 years, 8 years of which in IT and management, promoting mobile apps, crypto projects, and ad tech. And I've been with Adsterra for more than 3 years. Also, I'm a mentor, so apart from seeding, parenting, and marketing, I really enjoy mentoring at Growth Mentor Platform and Women in Tech Global Platform. And together with Tech Island, probably you know this Cyprus-based association, we organize IT Ladies Tech Island meetups. And I'm also a leader of Women Tech Network Cyprus chapter here. And since my childhood, well, as long as I remember, I'm a metalhead. So if you love heavy metal, that's really cool. In a week, I'm heading to Romania to attend a gig of God is an Astronaut band. So if you also love post-rock and such kind of bands, my respect. And now let me give a brief overview of Adsterra. So as I've said, it's a global advertising and CPA network. So we have tons of traffic, and we also have our own CPA network. So if you have an offer, you can come to us and we can help you promote it using numerous affiliates and numerous traffic sources. We are proud of our Partner Care program, which is an in-house program, training program for our managers. So we're not talking only about support teams, quick replies and things like that, but our managers have like growth mindset and engage deeply in growing our clients' business KPIs. We work with with a wide range of verticals such as VPNs, utilities, and software. These are the verticals we are the strongest at, I would say. And also dating, iGaming, social apps, entertainment of all kinds, e-commerce, and mobile subscriptions. And we also have optimization tools. So when you work on a managed basis, or for example, you prefer working on our self-serve platform, you can use these optimization tools, custom bid, smart CPM, CPA goal, etc. So these tools, these features will help you optimize and scale your campaigns. Speaking about our geos, well, you can see the flags of the countries, our top ones like the US, India, Brazil, Indonesia, Japan, Germany, etc., etc. But literally speaking, we have traffic across the world. So 248 geos, not countries, but geos. And so I work in advertising. Please raise your hand, those of you who works in advertising too. Okay, so not even the majority, I would say, but a bit, well, almost half, I would say. Okay, so let's be brutally honest. Do you really like ads? I mean, are you a fan of clicking on every online advertisement? No, nobody. That's funny, really. I work in advertising, but I hate ads. But when I say that I hate advertising, I mean most of the times, and most of the people mean that they hate irrelevant and intrusive advertising. And this has a certain connection with our behavior, because when we, for example, are not interested in such kind of ads, when it's just generic and massive, it's not what we need, and we get irritated by such kind of ads. But when we see that advertisers understand our preferences, interests, and needs, and they, make some efforts to target these ads smartly, then we can actually like these ads, and we may even find them helpful, and we may find through these ads, we may find the goods and services we really need. So I'm talking about behavior patterns, and if advertisers know behavior patterns, know how to use them to grow their businesses, it's really cool. And these patterns are just like hidden triggers behind the entire decision-making process. So when we tap into these patterns, we can create more relevant campaigns that really resonate with the audience and, of course, drive conversions. So now I'd like to share with you one model I really like. It's a theoretical framework, but it's applied all over the world by marketers, online advertisers, and consumer psychologists. It's called the Hofstede six-dimension model. And by applying this model, by using it in your advertising strategies, you can create more culturally sensitive campaigns and thus more effective. So you can, for example, take into consideration that in this or that geo, people are more indulgent, or they are more restrained, or collectivist culture is dominating there, for example, in China. So for this reason, you should use in your ads, in your display ads or marketing messaging, you should use community benefits and cooperation, for example. So knowing this, we can, incorporate behavior triggers in your advertising strategies and bring better results, of course. So for power distance index, I'm talking about cultures where teachers, parents, God, and government are, the strongest. I mean, that they show huge respect to this kind of people and creatures as well. So for high PDI index cultures, you'd better use authority and hierarchy in your messaging. And for low PDI index, we can focus on equality and inclusivity. Such kind of cultures like the US, Canada, Australia, UK, Norway, and the north of Europe, and so on and so forth. So for individualistic cultures, we'd better focus on personal success and achievements. And as I've said, for collectivist cultures, community benefits and collaboration is the best, so it's top. For the high uncertainty avoidance index cultures, you can use rules-based information. So provide instructions, provide clear information, right to the point. And low uncertainty avoidance index countries, they prefer adaptability. They are open to change. So you can focus on innovation and novelty in your messaging. The majority of the world, and I've seen this dimension map, so you will find it, if you want, I can send you my presentation, so you can use my Telegram account, and I will send it to you. And here you see maps here. So there is a link to the Hofstede six-dimension model with the maps. In the realm of this 6 dimensions. So you can see what countries have, for example, higher masculinity culture, or what countries are more collectivistic, etc., so that you adjust your advertising campaigns. As I've seen, the majority of the world is masculine. Well, no surprise here. So for these cultures, the language should be assertive and achievement-based, and the feminine cultures are like, all Scandinavian cultures, I would say. You can use the language of collaboration and inclusivity. Understanding cultures' time horizon is also essential. For example, for LTO or long-term orientation countries, you can use long-term benefits. So you can promise something for their future because they are focused on planning for the future and they are okay with it. And there are also STO, short-term orientation countries, that favor immediate gratification. So in your messaging, you'd better use immediate rewards, benefits, perks, etc., etc. For example, Latin America is mostly indulgent, according to these maps, anyway. And for such kind of cultures, you'd better use enjoyment and freedom. And for restrained cultures like Russia and China, we should use control and discipline. So we should focus on these behavior triggers. Anyway, we can discuss it a bit later. I mean that this is a huge topic for another good presentation. But I think that times are changing and behaviors are changing too. So probably in the next 50 years, we will see that some countries, some cultures will change completely. That would be very interesting to my mind. And another great model I'd like to share, the ABC model of attitudes. So we see that behavior is just one of the 3 points, 3 components of the complex approach to attitudes. And attitudes influence our purchasing behavior. And these 3 components and understanding how they work will help us to know how they shape and identify consumers' behavior. Just let me give you my personal example. Affect. Well, let's start with affect or emotional. This is an emotional response, likes and dislikes of different objects, products, and services. For example, I was choosing between high heels and moccasins for my numerous upcoming events and talks. And I like high heels, and you can see it. I have high heels today. So what is my behavior? When I went to the mall, I bought the high heels. It was pretty predictable because I have such kind of emotion to high heels. And this is intention or action towards the object. And then goes cognition, when I believe, I think, and I truly think that I look gorgeous in high heels. So what do you think? So this is how it works. I mean, the sequence may be like this, but it was thought that the hierarchy of effects is constructed of 6 stages. It's like a funnel, and you can see that if you deal with marketing, if you deal with online advertising, affiliate marketing, you can see that it looks like a funnel when we have and when we guide users and consumers from awareness to purchasing. And the ABC model of attitudes is tightly connected with the hierarchy of effects. Let me show you an example using, for example, a dating app. You have a dating app and you're launching, you're releasing a new feature. I don't know, let's say it might be a premium access to seriously intended men or women, doesn't matter. So at the stage of awareness, you should spark curiosity in your messaging, in your campaigns. So you would probably run teaser ads on social media, dating-related forums and blogs, and maybe relationship-related social media, groups and publics, and etc., etc. At the stage of knowledge, you would probably create videos explaining how the feature works and the ease of using this feature. You will explain benefits. At the stage of liking, you would probably use success stories and testimonials of real users, for example, who had an early access to this feature. And you ask them to share the success stories, how they found meaningful connections owing to your feature. At the stage of preference, you should encourage users to prefer this feature and to prefer your app with this feature over some other competitors. So you would probably focus again on advantages of these features, on exclusivity or uniqueness, and promise something interesting, for example, early access again to some group of consumers. And this preference stage goes hand in hand with the conviction stage, when we should build trust and confidence in this feature. And here we normally use, influencer endorsements, for example, or expert reviews, positive reviews for sure. So we work with celebrities, etc., etc. And the final stage of purchase should be really quick. So no need, to provide a lot of information, just a very clear call to action so that to prompt users to sign up, those who haven't signed up yet, or those, your real users, the current users of the app should sign up or should buy the access to your premium feature. So this is how it works, and long time ago, why it's not showing here? It's here, okay. So it was thought originally that the hierarchy of effects works in this direction, from cognition to behavior. But it's a high involvement scenario. What does it mean? It's when, for example, we gather a lot of information about the product or service first. Well, I may talk about some expensive gadget or healthcare products or insurances. So if we're dealing with affiliate marketing products. At this stage, so I gather a lot of information, and only after that I form my feeling towards the object. So I started, for example, liking it and preferring it, and then I buy it. In this case, marketers should, well, it doesn't mean marketers shouldn't, advertise at all, but they should reassure their consumers that the brand or product they have chosen is the best in class, and that it falls into the value system and lifestyle of the users. So it's important to provide an emotional connection in regards, well, in case of the high involvement scenario. But there can be some other consequences of the decision-making process, like, for example, low involvement scenarios when we're talking about, well, really widespread and cheaper products, or, for example, if there are goods and brands with no specific positioning, for example, a dating app for, everybody, or maybe VPNs or cleaners. So we start with not much knowledge, actually. So the knowledge is limited, and we do not want to spend a lot of time, on gathering this information. So we act first. Okay, we understand that we need a VPN. We act, and then we form our emotion, our affection to such kind of product. And there also can be an experiential way of decision-making, or the model of hedonic consumption. You all know that. I'm sure that everybody experienced it when you, for example, see a good packaging, a really nice name, and you want to try it, and the brand image is good, and maybe music or fragrances even motivated you to engage in the purchasing decision. It can be, well, I think to my mind, honestly, I think that every gaming app is like this, and probably some adult products as well. Okay, so all this data, well, just to summarize, we are talking about different data of liking, doing, thinking, believing about the product, and all this data is analyzed, predicted, and utilized by the entire domain in marketing, which is called behavioral marketing. And behavioral marketing is a technique that's used by online advertisers and marketers to showcase, to demonstrate relevant targeted ads, not just targeted ads according to the geo or some kind of age group, and the usage of the browser or device. But behavioral marketing goes deeper. So they got information about our browsing and purchasing behavior. It doesn't depend, on the websites, on the categories of websites we use, but on your behavior, across different websites. So they're just like hunting you. And McKinsey's research, which is very interesting, and I can also share this link with you, showed us that consumers overall expect brands to demonstrate their knowledge about us. And we see that there are a lot of, pretty high percentages. So make it easy to me to navigate in store and online. Give me relevant products and recommendations, which is also nice. And celebrate my milestones, personally address communications to me. So it gives a sense of personalization, and thus drives higher conversions. And McKinsey's research also showcased that companies that use personalization in their marketing activities and techniques receive higher revenue. So 40%, they grow 40% faster than us. Well, the benefits of behavioral advertising are obvious for sure. When we invest in behavioral advertising, and well, first it can actually require some huge investments into technology and gathering this information, and if you want to, for example, integrate with some other resources and customer data platforms, it may take a lot of time and efforts and money. But in the end, it can give you improved advertising metrics for sure. For example, we can lower cost per action, well, your average cost per action by targeting likely converters. And we can increase CTRs because the display ads you're showing are more relevant. Or we can, for example, boost CRs because you tailor your office to the audience. And of course, ROI will be higher as well. Also, behavioral advertising brings increased brand awareness and better retention and higher average order value because your users, your consumers come back to you to buy more. Or for example, you recommend products which are similar or which goes hand in hand with the product that the user has already bought. Or for example, you think that he or she might like it, for example. Or maybe they brought these products into their favorites. So you can use all this information so that to sell more, to upsell more. Behavioral advertising can give you a competitive edge as well, because if you provide individualized experiences to your consumers, you receive such a competitive advantage. So they will get back to you and you will stand out from your rivals, well, in a better way, in a more favorable way, I would say. Enhanced product growth. I think it's a direct connection with behavioral advertising, because when we understand how users behave themselves, how they use and what features they use in our app or, I don't know, desktop product, for example, we can think about the product roadmap. So we can do some surveys and concepts and understand how our product will develop in the future. And this is really cool, I think. So what data to track and measure? Won't list all this. That's a huge list. And you might probably guess about clicks and time duration on a website and specific pages, etc., etc. So these data relates to browsing and purchasing information. I will send you the presentation. No need to take pictures, but you can take a picture of me. You can actually use different CRM fields. So if you use CRMs, or for example, we use Intercom, which is a very good customer communication tool, and we can we can pass a lot of data using API, considering their login last time, their revenue, the amount of revenue, how much revenue did they bring over the last 7 days, etc., etc. And we can create campaigns, email campaigns, or chatbot campaigns, or push notification campaigns in regards with this information. So it's very important to understand, but again, it takes a lot of efforts. So how to track and measure this data? You may have a CRM, as I've mentioned, or web analytics like Google Analytics, and we've personally used Amplitude, which is really cool, but today it's pretty expensive. Heat maps and session recorders would help you a lot. I would recommend Hotjar. I'm not somehow affiliated with Hotjar tool, but I really love it because you can understand, for example, you can even find out the insights or some patterns which are typical to different geos, and the users just come, how they behave, how they go from one section to another. It's very important to understand how they use your product, so that create messaging and develop your product further on. But sad but true about behavioral advertising. Ad blockers and the usage of ad blockers is increasing. Okay, so people hate hunting. They do not want the advertisers to collect their personal data. And there are even, like online groups and movements who are against it. Behavior may change over time, and when we are stuck on, some behavior patterns we are used to, and we are already using it in marketing campaigns, then behavior may change, and we may not always be flexible, to react accordingly. Okay, privacy and security concerns. As I've already said, people just hate hunting, and they say, okay, contextual advertising will do with me, but please do not recommend me something I really enjoy, because I hate, just the sense of it. Advertisers may have incomplete information, and this is really a problem if we're talking about behavioral advertising, because we for example, may base on some kind of data like browsing triggers, etc., but some kind of data we're going to use in our campaigns might be absent, and it's very difficult to obtain it from the users. So we're going to, launch a lot of surveys and things like that. Or, for example, use second-party platforms to integrate with to enrich our data, which is also possible. Advertisers also may overcomplicate flows, and thus, it causes a lot of mistakes. And we may see, for example, irrelevant ads just because the flow is overcomplicated. And as I mentioned, high costs, really high costs. So we can lower CPAs, but initially we have to invest pretty much into technology investment, into technology and integrations. So for this reason, let me just cover some common behavioral triggers, which are typical to every geo, every group of people. So no need to be so, sophisticated. So let's think about some common behavioral triggers, and I'm going to show you our social bar ads just to have a picture of what we can use triggering scarcity and urgency. There was an interesting experiment where a group of people faced 2 jars with cookies, and one jar was full with cookies and another one had only 2 cookies. And they were asked, okay, so what cookies are more, tastier? And most of the people, the majority of the group said that those 2 cookies, because there are only 2 left. So scarcity is a very nice behavior trigger you can pull and use in your messaging. And these phrases and words like claim, fast, quick, hurry up, what else? Sale, or sale expires, and you can focus on, for example, last chance or stock limitation or deadlines. Well, a lot of things to use. And here we have some examples that the sale, you have a discount coupon and the sale ends in, an hour, and only 32 coupons left. So hurry up and grab your coupon and use it on your page. Timers are working really good for e-commerce, for the e-commerce vertical especially. These are the creatives, these are the ad formats we use at Adsterra working with advertisers. The next trigger, I would say, real value. So there are some practical people, and I consider myself being practical. So I won't be so flexible. I know my value. I know what's worth it. I need, for example, free shipping, and that's it. Please don't offer me something else. I need just free shipping. And you can choose it, free shipping, discount, and you can also can put, for example, buy 3 and get a discount and things like that. So these triggers and this messaging works for people who are for whom real value is most important. Also exclusivity and luck, which go, I think, hand in hand with scarcity, because if you, for example, receive a limited only, invite only, for example, invitation or limited only offer, you're of course focused on your opportunity and you want to grab it. It's like out of the fear of missing out, you want to have it right now, even if you don't need it actually. So for these people, we can offer rewards. You won your bonus. This is only your bonus. Or, for example, this is your opportunity and grab it. Spins or discounts or coupons, etc., etc. Curiosity is just it's a powerful behavior trigger. And here we can play with scratching cards like scratch and find your welcome bonus. Here we can ask questions, because questions engage your audience into communication. And some teasers and sneak peeks, for example, of the game, of your game app, or previews, etc., etc. So this one is really nice, and it works perfectly with iGaming, gaming, dating, adult verticals. really nice. Social proof is also important when we are talking about preferences. Well, we are all social creatures and we love validation. And when we see that people want something, we are more likely to want it too. Well, not all of us, okay, so I'm not offending anyone here, but still it works when we see that, for example, VPN has a higher ranking, or some game or online casino has a lot of positive reviews. It works great. And of course, it gives us a sense of personalization. So we had an experiment, A/B testing, and checking what social bar notifications will work better and give us a higher CTRs. So here we have templates which imitate popular social networks and messengers. And here we have some generic phrases like local dating, meet perfect girls in your city, learn more on the button, and so on and so forth. And actually, these templates and social bar in general gives a pretty high CTR, from 10 to 30%. For all advertisers we work with. But when we add, for example, the city, and we do it by using our dynamic text, so you can implement it, and if you have a multi-geo campaign, you can show this very ad creatives using different cities and different names, for example. It gives the highest CTR, and which is really cool. So the CTA, the call to action on the button is stronger, and here we have the name of the girl, which gives more personalization. So a few words about social bar. It's our proprietary ad format. It's like a combination of push notifications and display ads. And if you come to our self-serve platform, you will see different categories of social bars. In-page push, custom widgets, icon notifications, and there are a lot of skins and templates to work with. Some of them are similar to your device notifications, like system notifications, and some of them imitate, as I've said, or social networks, messengers, etc., etc. It can be a circle. It can be a circle with a message, and the message might be, you know, like running, like someone is dialing their message. Social bar provides full customization. So for managed advertisers, we can create different sizes, shapes, configurations, transparency, doesn't matter. It can be static, like we see the creative here, or it can be dynamic. And it works really well. Of course, you can use, with social bar ads, you can use all advanced targeting options of the self-serve platform and optimization features, which I mentioned in the beginning of my presentation. And you can also have an access to A/B testing up to 15 creatives with any selected template on the self-serve platform. But, well, it doesn't matter what kind of trigger you use or what kind of template or ad creative you choose. Targeting is a must. I mean that you should be really smart targeting people, no matter if you use contextual or behavioral advertising. So this is the most important thing. And finally, the key takeaways from this talk. Well, if it is applicable to your product or service, for example, you are a direct advertiser and you want to collect your first-party data and analyze it in depth so that to use it in your messaging, so that to adapt your advertising strategies. You can also enrich it with second-party tools like customer data platforms. Well, to be honest, we used it once, but it didn't work. So we didn't get the information that would satisfy us and that we would be able to use in our campaigns. But probably in your case, it would work. So I'm just, here to tell you that it might be so. It would be cool to segment your audience to tailor best. That's what we are doing, well, all the time. I mean, marketers should do it anyway. And personalize your ad messaging depending on this or that segment. We can use relevant behavior triggers I've been talking about today. And of course, test, and test again. And retest again if it's not working now. And you should marry, and probably that should be the first point, you should marry your long-term and short-term goals. For example, if you're a direct advertiser and you want to become the first in your industry or one of the best, so you should think about integrating or implementing, brand-specific messaging in your short-term behavioral advertising campaigns too. So, okay, quick sales is nice, but let's think about something bigger and better for the future that will work further. And that's all. Thank you very much. This is it. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. We can actually meet at the booth C16. You will see my team from Adsterra there. And please just drop me a line via Telegram. You can see my account, or you may use email or LinkedIn, and I will send you my presentation with all the links there. And I can also give you my business cards if you want. We can talk. Yeah, thanks a lot, and have a nice rest of the day.